Hey, how you guys doing? My name's TB, and today we're going to be talking about episode 47 of My Hero Academia Season 3. And I've been waiting for this episode, man. We've all been waiting for this episode. If you haven't been reading the manga for My Hero, Boku no Hero, you know, there's different ways to call it. If you haven't been reading the manga, then you don't know what's about to happen. All we got was a clue from last week where we saw the name for this week's episode, which was All for One. So obviously we're gonna see All for One in this episode, and we did. But first off, let me talk about something that I mentioned in my last review, which was I didn't know what Ed Shot's quirk was. His quirk looked, he looked really cool. That's why I was wondering what his quirk was. Apparently he could turn his whole entire body paper thin. So I'm sure that's gonna come in handy, and it definitely does, taking down a certain someone. But also, in this episode, we find out that Ragdoll didn't die. So because Ragdoll didn't die, now we know for 100% certainty that during the time where the villains attacked during their training camp, nobody died. Ragdoll got hurt. Pixie Bob got hurt. Who else got hurt? I think Choji got hurt. There was a lot of people who got hurt during that fight, but nobody died. So, and some people got hurt by the gas as well. But during that whole entire thing, it's kind of a miracle. No one died during that event. But now continuing with the actual episode, I just want to get that out of the way. We have the press here pressuring Eraserhead and Vlad King here, talking about what happened to the students, and one of the main person that's questioning them, the teachers, he's saying that wasn't your job to avoid the worst possible outcome? Why did you tell the students to fight then? And Eraserhead says, I told them to fight because I did want them to avoid the worst possible outcome, which was for them to all die and them for not to have a future. Since only a couple of the students got hurt and no one actually died, which we now, like us as the viewers, we know for sure no one died, then they believe that was the best possible outcome, and the only way that could happen is he told them to fight. And then what do I call him? I guess the interviewer. I don't know, the dude who's acting like a douchebag. The interviewer is like, oh, that's all well and good for everyone except for Bakugo. Bakugo was stolen, and he was stolen with the intent of taking advantage of the fact that he has an attitude and a personality that could be misconstrued to other people as villainous. They could try to get him to his side, put thoughts in his head that aren't really, what should be in a young, boy's mind who's trying to develop his quirk. And then Vlad King says I keep wanting to call him Aizawa because that's his name, Aizawa. But Eraserhead looks like he's about to get mad, like he's about to just say something that shouldn't need to be said. But no, he stays calm, he stays cool, he stays collected, and he's like, if the villains were coming after Bakugo trying to get him, then they don't really understand what this kid's all about. He basically just told them what it is, man. That like they're dumb, and by extension, you're dumb for thinking that it's gonna be this easy to fool this kid into trying to become a villain. They don't even know what this kid's about. And then they like transition to where Bakugo's at, and he's like, yeah, you tell him, man. This is exactly how I feel. Cause he even told Shigaraki that like he's not about what he's trying to do. So I think that whole discussion was really important because it shows the press that just because they're giving them tough questions doesn't mean that they don't have good answers, that they still know what they're doing. Things aren't perfect, but like they're not going to let the villains get away with doing whatever they want to do. Things are going to go that smoothly. So anyway, after that, we at the end of episode 46, we think that it looks like Shigaraki is about to go off on him, like he's about to just disintegrate him. He's gonna do something to Bakugo, but he doesn't. He picks his little face, his little hand back up, he puts it on his face, and then you get to see what All for One thinks about that, because I think up to this point he wasn't really sure if what his protege, his student, was acting the way that he wanted him to act. And obviously he's more mature now. He's not acting like he used to in the first or in the second season. He's a little bit more mature now. He's going about things in a better way. He's doing things the way that he would want them to do. He's not just doing what he's told. And All for One likes that, obviously. And after we're done with that little thing, because this episode is all over the place, but it needs to be, because there's a lot of things going on. You got the UA students with Midoriya. You got Bakugo over there with the villains. You got the teachers with the interviewers. You got a lot of stuff going on right now. And then you got the pro heroes that are about to attack, which is just what's about to happen after we head back with Midoriya here and Todoroki and Ida and all of them. They acknowledge the fact that they want to get inside this facility, but they don't really have anyone to do it. They don't have anyone who's sneaky or is able to do surveillance. That's what Ida mentions. So what they do is they try to go on each other's backs on the end of the entrance, or the exit to the building. They go in there and they see that there's Nomu there. That this is basically like a facility where I feel like they make them. Well, I don't know who makes them, but they get made there because they're obviously, well, we don't know yet, but it doesn't seem like they're people. But like, what are they then? We don't know yet, but apparently that's where at least some of them are being made. We have this pretty cool shot here of the team that's gonna go in with the CIA or the I don't know what you would call them, just the police basically. We have a team, and they look pretty good. They look pretty good, especially All Might. He's standing there. And later, Endeavor makes a comment that I think was pretty cool. He basically calls All Might an American. And I was like, well, isn't this like... I thought that every hero in the show was Japanese. I guess not. I mean, it kind of looks that way with the colors of his suit, right? I just thought that was interesting. So after all of that, All Might comes in. He smashes through the wall like he's the freaking Kool-Aid man. And he's basically like, it's done. You're done. You know why you're done? Because we're here. Not I'm here. He says we, which I think is important because sometimes I feel like All Might can have a little bit of an ego only because of, he is a number one hero. But he acknowledges the fact that he needs everyone's help this time. Obviously, since he's not able to use his quirk for as long as he used to be. I'm questioning how long he's actually been using it so far. Like, before he was like only an hour or like a couple minutes. It kept going down as the series has reached the third season. The amount of time that he could be in this mode has gone down and down and down. So how long can he keep it up? I don't know. But basically they go in there, they neutralize everybody. You got Kamui Woods, you got All Might, you got Ed Shot. They all do their thing. You even got Gran Torino there. I think he knocks out Dabi. Yeah, he knocks him out quick. He was getting ready to freaking incinerate some people, but that didn't happen, obviously. And then, I wasn't sure how they're going to get out of this, because obviously Shigaraki, he's thinking in his head, kind of like Midoriya does sometimes, how are we going to get out of this? We're going to need to call some Nomu. And then Kirigiri gets shut down. So he wasn't able to, and then after Kirigiri gets shut down, actually, I think Mountain Lady comes and she smashes all the Nomu that are there in that spot. So not only can they not warp out, they can't get any Nomu to come in and help them. And then out of nowhere, Nomu just start appearing. Like, they just start warping. And even All Might's like, I don't know how this is supposed to happen. They're not supposed to have this ability. They're supposed to be really strong, like really durable, but they're not actually able to like warp. They shouldn't be anyway. And then the weirdest thing happens. Bakugo can't catch a break, man. It seems like it came out of his mouth. Like, he threw up a Nomu and it came in. It like, well, not a Nomu, whatever the quirk is, whoever's quirk is like doing this, it basically took him away. It transported him. And then All Might has the same reaction that Midoriya had when he was taken. He's just like, no, and like he's just screaming out. And that's what happens there. So far, like that all that is crazy, because they went from a moment where they thought, they were victorious, they were triumphant, everything was going well, and then all of a sudden, with a snap in the fingers, man, everything goes to hell, man. And this is where we see Ragdoll here, because you see, I believe it's Gang Orc, the Genist, and Mountain Lady. They're all there where Midoriya and his teams are. They're over there by the Nomu factory, and you see Tiger come out with Ragdoll, and she has this look on her face like, I don't know, like she's hypnotized or like something. And you find out that All For One took her quirk, because you remember, I believe it was in the first season, All Might explains to Midoriya like who the main villain is, who gave him the scar on his chest. He says that it's all for one, and that he has the ability to take quirks, and it's not like one for all. We had the ability to pass it on to someone else. All for one is taking them. So he took Ragdoll's quirk, which is a good quirk because now he'll have the ability to look it up to 100 people and just know everything about them. I'm assuming like the physical features, not like personal information or anything like that. But that's what she said her quirk was, and that's a good quirk to have. And that's pretty much the end of the episode right there. Something else happens after the end of the episode, which is what I was hoping for. Not just a preview of the next episode, but we see Midoriya and his team. It looks like they're all scared to death, man. Like, it either looks like they're trying to hold their breath because they don't want him to know that they're there, or they're so messed up by what they saw that, like, they're ready to throw up. You see these kids' faces, and he even says, like, even the presence of this guy gave them hallucinations of their own death. Like, that's how freaking insanely powerful and, like, evil this dude is. I was waiting for someone like this to come along, and obviously, if it's not all for one, then who's it gonna be? It's not that these other villains that like have come up, not that they're not strong, but none of them have ever like invoked this sort of reaction out of anybody in the show yet. So the fact that All for One can do this is crazy, man. It's crazy. And the next episode, I believe it's called The Symbol of Peace. So maybe One for All and All for One are gonna fight. Hopefully they do, but hopefully like if they do next episode, or if it's leading up to that in the future, that the season doesn't end so quickly. Like I don't want the season to end like in like 12 or 13 episodes. I want it to be like 24 episodes, just like the second season. First season I believe was 12 episodes. Second season was like a 24 episode season. Anyway, that's the end of this episode, man. I have so many questions. Actually, let me talk about that for a minute. I have so many questions. So, if All for One can take quirks, right? He took Ragdoll's quirk, obviously, because he said he did. Then, how was he able to manipulate the Nomu? Obviously, All for One is behind all of this. So is Shigarashi. But how was he able to manipulate the Nomu and make them be able to use a different quirk? Because he is the one who helped Shigarashi. He had a plan, and the pro heroes just shut that down pretty quickly, like not even in a minute. He shut everything down. So I have that's my question. My question is, are those pro heroes okay? Is Mountain Lady okay? Is Genist okay? Is Tiger okay? He blew them all away at the end of the episode. Did you see that? It looked like the whole freaking part of the city there was destroyed. Like, what did he even do? Because you see Genist tried to like use his quirk to like tie him down, and that didn't work, obviously. But man, this episode was a good episode. It was. You know, we had all those episodes leading up to this, and hopefully they just keep it going. You know, they don't slow down. But let me know what you guys thought of this episode. Let me know what you guys thought of this review. I really appreciate your feedback. I'm excited for next week, man. I really am, especially since I don't read the manga. Anyway, you guys have a good day. Bye.